Up till this point, if we asked a student or a teacher to enter 10 test scores for a student, we'd have to declare 10 separate variables. But now we don't. We can use an array. An array is a tool that will hold multiple values of the same data type. An array is also a tool that we can use to hold on to data while it's in RAM, so that later on we can take all of this data and dump it into a file on a disk. And you'll see what that means a little bit later as we get going. When we declare an array, we say something like int scores bracket 5, or brace 5 I should say. This means that scores is an array of type int and it's 5 things big. 5 is a size declarator. Right here, this 5 is a size declarator. It can either be a numeric literal of 5 or a constant. It cannot be a variable. 5 says that the array is going to be 5 elements big. But keep in mind that each element in RAM, each element is of size int or type int, so each element is 4 bytes big. This array, since it's 5 things big and each element is 4 bytes big, will take a total of 20 bytes up in RAM. If I were to say scores is an array of type short and it's 5 things big, this array would only take up 10 bytes in RAM because it would have 5 elements in the array and each element is of data type short, only 2 bytes big. 5 times 2 is 10. Now, how do we put data into an array? Okay. Keep in mind that array elements are numbered from 0 to 1 less than the total. So the array that we were talking about before may look something like this. Here's the array. It's 5 things big in RAM, and each one of these places is made up of 4 bytes. This place here is referred to as position 0, position 1, position 2, position 3, position 4. Okay. Now, if I were to say score sub 2 is assigned 20, then 20 would actually go into the third position in the array. Not 0, not 1, but 2, the third position in the array. The 2 is considered a subscript or an index. Most of the time, the index or the subscript will be the loop control variable in a for loop. Let me give you an example. This is a for loop that will be used to fill an array. X is 0. Is x less than 5? That's the size of the array. Notice I'm starting at 0 here, and I'm testing to see if x is less than 5. Cout, enter a score, and the score goes into score sub x. The x here, this is the index, or the subscript. It happens to be the loop control variable in the for loop. So when x is 0, the first score goes into score sub 0. When x is 1, it goes into score sub 1. When x is 2, it goes into score sub 2. When x is 3, it goes into score sub 3. When x is 4, it goes into score sub 4. And when x is 5, this loop will now fail and I'm done. So the purpose of this for loop is to fill the array. Please know the difference between the x here, the subscript or index, and when you declare an array, the 5 here, which is a size declarator. The 5 is going to be a numeric literal or a constant. It can never be a variable, and most of the time the index or subscript will be a variable. It will be the same as the loop control variable of the for loop.